F it, we'll do it live and we'll do it again. Hello everybody and welcome to Against the Fence, where of course you know this is the place to be if you're obsessed and passionate about the UFC. Yes, I'm back and we're going to be talking about Jon Jones pulling out of UFC 295 at Madison Square Garden against Stipe Miocic. The news came yesterday or early hours of the morning if you're in the UK. It's very, very sad. Do you know what? I was so close on doing a funny video for you guys, basically praying to the MMA gods that this card didn't fall through, and I was too late. It's just, it's just such a shame, and fingers crossed nothing happens now to Yuri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. But the UFC have made the call, and they have called both Sergei Pavlovich and Tom Aspinall to step up to the plate. And I believe they're going to be in a co-main event. Is it for co-main event? For the Interim Heavyweight title. And we'll also talk about what's going to happen with Stipe Miocic next, because that's kind of interesting as well. Yes, that's right. So Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira drops up to the main event. Tom Aspinall versus Sergei Pavlovich in the co-main. Look, I think it's still a good card. Okay, look, we were all pumped for Jones versus Miocic. I was so excited for this fight because, look, it's a legacy fight at the end of the day. But we're not going to see it now. Welcome on in, Ash. He says, come on, Tom. Gutted about Jones, though. Nolan Zebra's in the house. Yes, Nolan, where have you been, brother? Good time. And long time no see, should I say. How have you been, man? How are you keeping? Hope the family's doing well, of course, as well. Good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Sorry, I'm just getting the chats on my main screen here. But yeah, back to this fight then. I'm glad, like, for a UK fan, I think we're stoked now because Tom gets a crack at gold. Okay, say what you will about interim title fights. If you're not a fan of them, I'm not particularly a fan of them, but look, effectively it's a golden ticket, really, isn't it, to the actual belt. So that kind of lodges things in the heavyweight division a little bit here because, if we see a winner out of those two, fights for the belt, Jon Jones, at some point down the line, right? That should happen. So what now happens to Stipe Miocic? Or, because I imagine the UFC gave him the call. He was the first one to know, and he was clearly the one who said no to either of these men, I think. And, he's probably turned around to the UFC and said, look, why should I fight these young cats, these up-and-coming cats? I've waited out for Jon Jones all this time. That was the deal. So I'm not going to take the fight. So, look, I think Stipe's relationship with the UFC I don't think is great at all. If he comes back, is he going to likely fight the winner? He's going to be out for even longer. If anything, I think maybe perhaps, another thing is, would Jon Jones even fight either of these two? I'm not sure he would. I think he's spoken about it in the past. He wanted to fight Stipe, the legacy fight, and then retire. So, surely if you're Jon Jones, you relinquish the belt again. Yet another belt gets relinquished. And you let Pavlovich and Aspinall fight for the actual belt. If you've got no intention of fighting either of those guys. So, and you just let then, when you heal up, you just fight Stipe. That's the GOAT fight, right? Fighting Stipe. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys reckon in the chats then? Smash a like on the video if you've not done so already. Nolan says, certainly been an interesting couple of weeks. Oh, it's been hectic, mate. It's been hectic. He says, I'm good, brother. Still ticking along. We'll drop you a message later. Yeah, no worries, buddy. No, buddy. Look forward to that. He says, Stipe and Jones will retire after their fight. Stipe will only come back for Jones. Yeah, I know, this is fair enough, isn't it? Ash says, yeah, did they offer Pav to Stipe? Yeah, they must have done. Tuto's in the house. Yes, Tuto. Massive salutes and redox to JK, Ash and Nolan. Greetings from Italy. Greetings, Tuto. Good to see you, my man. How did you make of the fights this past weekend? Of course, amazing card. And what's your thoughts on John Jones pulling out here? Very, very unfortunate. That's it. Everyone spreading love in the chats. I didn't actually read any articles about it, to be honest. I think I was too bummed out and too busy at work to actually figure out what was going on. It was, I think, was it Jones's bicep? Did he tear his tricep or bicep? Either one of those. Let's have a look. Ooh, Bleacher Report. Let's have a look. Our good friends at Bleacher Report. It says John Jones out due to training injury. That was announced. It was announced by Dana White last night. Look, I'm still pumped for Prochazka versus Pereira. I think that's a phenomenal fight at light heavyweight. How do I think that's gonna go? I'm hoping Pereira wins. Personally, I think he's gonna be able to catch Prochazka because he's leaves himself quite open quite often. And is it still a selling fight? It's a little bit tricky, isn't it? Now it's a bit. The card has watered down a little bit, but look, I'm still gonna be pumped for it. We're still gonna be there. We'll still be doing a watch along for it. I think that the co-main event now is. I think it is a good one. I'm still excited about it. Like, I'm lost for words. I'm honestly lost for words. I'm so gutted that this main event's pulled out. It's twice in a row now we've had last minute replacements. Although Pavlovich and Aspinall are gonna have 2 weeks to prepare now, and this just says a lot, really, doesn't it, about the current the current scenario in the MMA world right now. With these big fights pulling out, like, what is it? What is going on? Are people just training far too hard for this now? What is the crack? Welcome on in, Alongmir Hassan. Sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong, buddy. He says Yuri is getting the job done. It's been underestimated. Yeah, I mean, maybe it has been because we've not seen Yuri in a little while now. And of course, we do remember his performance against Glover Teixeira, which was, a back and forth battle. He was close to potentially losing that bout against a Glover Teixeira who's well into his 40s. Pereira, though, I mean, look, he's a killer, isn't he? Pereira is an absolute killer. And if he can become a two-weight champion, I think that is going to be insane. For someone who's done it in such a short period of time, to come over from kickboxing, beat Izzy, all right, lose then to Izzy, but then to go up to arguably his best weight class at 205 and then capture the belt there would be insane. I'm all for it, man. I hope he does it. There's no disrespect to Yuri, of course. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. He's very skillful. I enjoy watching him as well. But, I just favour Pereira on that one. I don't know what you guys think. Nolan says it looks like it's at his shoulder. There's footage of the injury happening. Yeah, I did see that footage, to be fair. Gutting, man. Absolute gutting. Smack a like on the video, guys. And it's time to get behind Big Tom. It is. Ash said something really interesting to me before I went live. And maybe I'll give Ash a few minutes or seconds to pop in the chat what he said to me, because I think it was really vital for UK MMA and a potentially exciting 2024 should these things play out. Alongmir says, does Alex surpass Israel's UFC legacy if he wins? Absolutely, mate. I think so. The fact that he was able to do what Israel wanted to do and was gunning to do for quite some time in such a short period would be far from impressive. I do want to see the third MMA fight between the two of them. However, I've always said that I prefer to see it at middleweight because I think it's fair. Look, if the other two fights were at middleweight, have the third one at middleweight. It doesn't make sense to have it at 205. And the odds do stack heavily in Pereira's favour if that trilogy was to be made at 205. So, I want an even playing field almost. But, you can turn around to me and say, but JK, every time that Pereira's making this cut to 185, he's just draining himself and he's not looking great, which is very true. But, you know, I just think it's the fair move, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think that Alex surpasses Israel's UFC legacy if he was to beat Yuri Prohaska? Ash says, I did indeed say if Tom wins and Leon wins March, London, 2 belts on the line, come out me, that would be, I think you meant to say come at me, that would be insane. Yeah, it would be, you know. If Leon gets the job done against Colby and Tom beats Pavlovich, then look, that's an insane pay-per-view card. That needs to happen in a stadium, though. Look, the UK fans have been calling for this for so long now. Wembley Stadium needs a UFC card. And if that's going to be the case, they'll probably wait it out till the summer. You know, the Dana White and the UFC are a bit skeptical on making a pay-per-view fight card over here in a stadium because of the weather. I mean, look, put a roof over it, for crying out loud. You know, let's give the fans what they want. And yeah, Tom Aspinall fighting for the heavyweight crown and Leon defending his would be insane. I mean, it depends, though, who you'd give Leon should he beat Covington, right? Because if it's somebody in the welterweight division who's not got much of a name, then I can see that being a solid co-main event. Because if it is somebody who's got quite a bit of a name, then I'd imagine they would save that fight for a pay-per-view headliner, I'm afraid. That's my take on it. But what do you guys reckon? If you've not done so already, smash a like on the video, guys. We've been live now for 2 nights in a row, and we've got so much content coming your way. Like, we did the Aftermath show last night. We've got clips of that coming out. You got to make sure you're catching up. I mean, this is what happens when there's no UFC event this weekend. Alongmere says that would be one of the best London cards ever. Has Wembley written all over it, or the Emirates? Come on, you Gunners, he says. Oh, look, I mean, either one of those stadiums I think would be phenomenal in London. It's got to be done, isn't it? London Stadium needs a roof. That's the problem. Stadium, no roof, boys, says Jackski. And look, Jackski's from Wales. He's calling for that stadium in Cardiff. Of course, it's got a nice roof on it. But I don't think the UFC will do an event in Cardiff. It's a tricky one. Nolan says, I've got some catching up to do, lads. All right, Nolan, good to see you, buddy. Hopefully we can catch you on the next watch along, perhaps. And maybe perhaps the next live event, should that be sometime soon. Who knows? News are coming in thick and fast. I'm going to do a video tomorrow for you guys as well. Fingers crossed I'm going to be able to do it in time. Probably discussing whether or not the UFC should sign Dylan Dennis. So you got to make sure you got the notifications bell rang for that one. But yeah, if you're just catching this the next day, pop your comments in below. Do you think Tom Aspinall has a chance against Sergei Pavlovich? Are you excited about these new matchups? Are you a little bit gutted about Jones versus Miocic falling out? Let us know your thoughts. As I say, this is a UFC fan channel where fan opinions matter most. My take on it, of course, you know, I'm being a Brit. I hope that Tom Aspinall gets the job done against Pavlovich. I hope he's able to weather the storm, stay light on his feet, pick Pavlovich apart, time his takedowns to perfection. I mean, Pavlovich is a big boy. I think it's going to be quite difficult. I mean, I'm intrigued to see if Tom can get him down. I think that's going to be his key to victory. He's got to tire Pavlovich out and take away that gas tanks. And that's probably my prediction. Maybe Aspinall round 2 or 3. Should he survive? I mean, who knows? Tommy Aspinall says Jackski. Yeah, man. Let's get the Aspinall chance going, boys. All right, you guys are amazing in the chats again. I'm going to have to wrap this up. The work keeps on happening over here at ATF, of course, without an event. So make sure you catch up and watch the MVP video, actually, that I've just popped out, discussing what's going to be next. You know, should the UFC sign MVP? And I've also given you 3 fights that the UFC should make for him, and I think they're really good as well. Alan Milner says, I may be totally biased, but I generally believe Aspinall gets it done on the feet. Yes, let's cheer for Tom Aspinall. TMMM's in the house. Oh, look, more people chiming in the chats, and I'm trying to leave you guys. I do apologise. But I do have to wrap this up. But he says, for the sake of UK MMA, let's pray Tom gets it done. Yes, let's pray to the MMA gods this time that they give us. Yes, Night Dad, good to see you. Speak to you soon. But yeah, do make sure you catch the MVP video, guys, and we've got more coming your way later on down the line. Okay, I've been your host, JK. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and you hit like on the video, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now, guys.